According to The Athletic, Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy both are going to be here for a very, 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 very long time. What's up? Welcome to Up Next, my new show where I highlight up-and-coming members of the 49ers content creator community. Today, I got Maj Sports with me. Maj, thanks for coming on. Why don't you tell people who you are, where they can find you?
Maj Sports on YouTube. I kind of just started to make 49ers content. I was kind of doing a little bit of soccer, but yeah, we moved to football now. This is what I love the most. So Maj Sports on YouTube, Twitter, all that.
From football to football. Okay, check them out. Exactly. Subscribe. Leave a 5-star review. We got breaking news right now on the show. Diana Rossini is an insider for The Athletic National, which is the same place that employs Mike Silver. Had a report this morning, first about Kyle Shanahan, then about Brock Purdy. Maybe some things that some Niner fans want to hear, maybe some things that Niner fans don't, depending on where you fall in the spectrum. Start with the Kyle Shanahan news. According to Rossini and her sources, the 49ers still are fully confident in Kyle Shanahan's ability to lead the team moving forward. And he is not, I repeat, he is not on the hot seat. What do you think of this report?
Listen, you made some good points about Shanahan. I think we got to give him one more year. And I know you don't like when people say that. You think he should be gone right now, right?
I do, but I don't get upset when people disagree with me. That's fine. I'm open-minded. Make the case.
I just feel the amount of injuries that's happened to this team, I feel like he deserves another chance with a good team because this team has not been good. The amount of injuries we've had, Bosa, the tragedies that happened to Charvarius Ward, Trent Williams, I just feel like this season's been bad all around. And after everything Shanahan's done, and I know he hasn't got us a Super Bowl, so he hasn't really done anything, but all those championship games, how do you get rid of a guy like that? How do you get rid of Shanahan? And you even said it too. Oh yeah, the Bears want him, this and that. Yeah, Chicago Bears, they want him. Well, I think any team would want Kyle Shanahan. And you also say, well, it's because they don't know what he's actually about. I still think he's a good coach. I'm a little bit on the fence right now. I think you give him one more year, and if he does bad next year with a solid team, then you let him go.
Okay. A lot of people I respect have that exact viewpoint. Jesse Naylor, It's a completely sensible viewpoint. The guy's been to 2 Super Bowls. He was just in the Super Bowl 10 months ago. Don't be hasty. It feels like what they did with Jim Harbaugh. Oh, the guy has one down season and you kick him out and you have no plan to move on. I get that. But it's not one down season. It's his 4th losing season, assuming he has a losing season now. And the question I have is if you bring him back next year, which they probably will, according to Diana Rossini. Although once you start bringing it up, hot seat, you start mentioning it, it makes you wonder, could this change? Is this fluid? There's 3 games left.
Yeah.
But I don't know where I was going with that. I lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I said. Okay. So you bring him back. Everything's fine. Let's not overreact. Yada. It makes sense. Be sensible. Don't all that. Why do you really feel it'll be better next year? I'm not even trying to be snarky. We can go. Maybe they won't be so injured next year. That's one reason. They could have an easier schedule, right? They could be last place in their freaking division. They could have an easier schedule. 2 things. Okay, I give you that. What else though?
That's kind of what I was going to
say. Is Christian McCaffrey going to be dope again?
That's another scary thing. I think Christian McCaffrey, his time in the league is kind of dwindling down a little bit because coming back from that what do you have, Achilles injury? No, yeah,
the tendonitis,
tendonitis, yeah. Coming back from that and then getting this knee injury, he's just it's honestly sad to see. It is sad to see. It's just if this team is the same and they're healthy, I think how does he he's gonna. I don't know. This whole conversation with Shanahan, oh, we should fire him, this and that. I don't think we.
Well, hold on. Let's stick with this. So, we bring him back, and the assumption is hey, man, he just got to look in the mirror. He's got to make some little adjustments, right? Some tweaks. Maybe stop going to Debo so much. man, we've been waiting for him to make these adjustments and tweaks for so long. And like, it looked against the Bears like he did it. And everyone's like,
what's the Bears?
This is the guy that we love. Everyone loves this Kyle. And then he comes back 5 days later and goes back to the Debo offense. Like, if he comes back next year and keeps Debo and keeps Juszczyk and essentially runs the team the way he's running it right now, I mean, I fully expect him to do that. We know Kyle Shanahan. I feel like he's a relative of mine. 8 years. He's not going to change anything.
No.
He's not.
I just think he's in his own head right now. That's what I think. That's what, like, he's stupid right now. That's what he's stupid. And he's usually not stupid. He just, like, using Debo in a game where Debo's literally, he's washed now. He's not good. Why are you?
Yeah, how do you explain that, man? Season on the line. Everyone knows Debo's been washed. He's had a horrific month. And Kyle picks that game to try to change the narrative and get him going. Like, did they need to do that?
No, you got a guy named George Kittle on your team. We should have been using Ricky Pearsall more. We don't use Ricky Pearsall.
That's so strange to me.
I think Shanahan thinks it's 2019 where he's like, you know what? I'm going to give it to Debo and let him cook. Debo, he can't cook anymore.
Okay. So hold on. Stick with me on this. So again, because I'm debating with you a little bit right now.
Yeah.
Why do you think Kyle Shanahan will come to his senses? I feel like a lot of people are like, look, man, this is a bad year for Kyle. He lost the Super Bowl, man. He's going through it. He's having a bad year. Okay, fine. He'll go do an ayahuasca retreat. Like, how is he going to cleanse his aura? What is going to really change for this man? Like, why is he going to come back energized? I feel like I keep hearing that. And not just from all kind of people. He's going to be energized. He's going to be refreshed. It's going to be the best of Kyle. I mean, I like being hopeful and optimistic too, but like based on freaking what, Maj?
You said I can't use injuries, right?
You can say whatever you want to do. I really want to be convinced because I'm negative right now.
It's injuries, Grant. It's injuries, man.
It's
the amount of injuries we've had, dude. You got to realize this isn't the same team as it was last year. I'm surprised people thought we were going to beat the Rams. I didn't think we were going to beat the Rams. They just put 42 up on the Bills. Like,
losing McCaffrey, I think, was a huge one because they were really. There's a reason they traded for him in the first place. They were going down without McCaffrey. He comes in, all of a sudden they're a juggernaut. He goes down, all of a sudden they're beatable.
Exactly. McCaffrey's the biggest part of this team, offensive player of the year.
Clearly.
He's the biggest.
I mean, their whole dominant run was him, I think. I mean, a lot of people will put it on Brock, and Brock's about to get paid for it. A lot of people got paid because Christian McCaffrey's freaking great, or at least when he's healthy, which is like in little bursts.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like this team is going to be in for a rude awakening. You're going to bring it back, and they're going to say people are going to be healthy, and Christian McCaffrey is going to be there all training camp, and it's going to look good, and everyone's going to say he's in the best shape of his life. And by week 5, I don't want to say it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he's 29. So he's going to run super hard, and they're going to give him a bajillion touches. And we know, I don't think he can do it for a full season anymore. And if he can't, Kyle's out of ideas.
So you think if we're all healthy, you think Shanahan's still gonna coach bad? You still think
I think next year, let's try to get inside Kyle's mind. I think next year Kyle's game plan is, man, the only reason his think is going to be the only reason that season went down 2024 is because McCaffrey was not himself. And my whole playbook was geared around 23 because he's offensive player of the year. Why would I change anything? And I couldn't really. I thought he was coming back, and then he came back, and then he got hurt again, and it just everything got. This year, okay, he's going to be there for minicamp, OTAs, training camp. He's going to be great again, and we're going to be great again. And we could just go back to being the team we were in 2023. Ayuk's going to come back eventually. Like, we can go back to what we were as opposed to we can go forward as a new team. I think he's still trying to save the past, like a SIM card.
You're saying if McCaffrey... You think McCaffrey's not going to be the same player? That's basically what you're saying.
I don't think you can count on that. I think anything he gives you has to be like gravy, and I would put him in a rotation. He's 29, and he's coming off like a completely lost season.
I agree with you. That's why I'm not really thinking of next season just yet because I just want to see how McCaffrey plays because I agree with you. If McCaffrey's not playing well, we're cooked. We're cooked because. Saw it this year. We had McCaffrey in the lineup and we still lost games
because he wasn't quite the greatest player in the league.
Exactly. And
when we look back on McCaffrey's time with the 49ers, I think we'll have to give him the props of being like, he was the best player in football for about a year and a half. And he kind of carried a very overrated team. I mean, damn, this team is overrated without him. I'm sorry, at least this year. I know they've had injuries and stuff, but yikes.
You're right. You're right. I think
6 points.
Yeah, I think I actually agree with you there. I think if McCaffrey isn't healthy, this team is not the same. We saw it this year.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you. 100%.
That was one of the all-time trades for this organization.
Yeah.
Okay, another thing Diana Rossini said. The Niners still intend to give Brock Purdy a multi-year extension. I love when these things come out like they're 6-8. They just embarrass themselves on national television in a must-have-it game, and the organization gets like tapped on the shoulder by an insider, and they're like, "Oh yeah, everything's great over here. Nothing to see here. Business as usual." Like maybe this is what fans want to hear at 6-8. But yeah, Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan, everything's great. They got the foundation of their team. What do you think of the 49ers fully? Well, they didn't say how much they're going to offer him, though. I mean, they could be saying, yeah, everything's great. We're gonna give him a multi-year extension. It's going to be very lucrative. It could be 30, though. It could be 60, though. How do you take this?
If it's 60 mil, we're screwed. We are screwed. If it's 60 million, we're screwed. I even think if it's like, it's hard to say right now. Well, it's actually easy to say. Purdy does not look the same this year. Why? I think people were kind of right. And I'm a Purdy guy. I love Purdy. I got an Iowa State jersey of Purdy. Like, I love Purdy. It's maybe he does need.
He's an all-time great story in sports.
Maybe
like, there needs to be a movie about Brock Purdy. Like, not to be, patronizing, but he's an all-time great story.
He is 100%. I'm just saying, I think people were maybe a little bit right with the Brock Purdy needs the Avengers story. I think they were kind of right because this year he doesn't. Well, I think any quarterback that doesn't have his weapons, they're not going to be the same, except maybe like Mahomes, Josh Allen. Those guys are, those guys are tiers above Purdy. I just think for Purdy, I agree with you. I think we play him out next year and see how he does. And if he does bad, you let him go. But the one thing I don't agree that what you say is like to let him go and get Sam Darnold. You say that, and I'm like, really, Darnold? You would pick Darnold over Purdy? Right? Listen, Darnold's having a good year, but
he's on a better team, though. He is on a better team.
He's on a better team.
He's on a much better team.
Better.
That
team.
is true.
That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't be super excited about paying Sam Darnold either.
No.
Here's what I think they're gonna do. Correct me if you think I'm wrong here. I feel like knowing the Niners the way we do, how they negotiate, they'll give him an offer, probably at the beginning of the offseason, and it'll be a low ball offer. It'll be low.
I agree.
It will not be $60 million a year. It'll be, I don't know, 35, 40. Some low, some borderline offensive to him. Although to me, I wouldn't even do that. And he'll have to be in a situation where it's like, well, I could drag this out all offseason the way Ayuk did, the way Kittle did, the way Bosa did, because we know the Niners will cave.
Yeah.
And if you hold out and you go take this into September, the Niners will give you $60 million most likely. He'll have to decide if he wants to do that. And if he sits out, man, I would trade him. I would trade
100%.
him. I would trade him because the Niners eventually have to stop this pattern of like just letting players, just rolling over to players every demand because they've done it like 4 years in a row.
Letting them do whatever they want. I agree.
Everything.
So you think Purdy's not worth 25, 30 mil?
It's hard to say what he is worth though, right? Because like the first 24 games of his career, he was great. Like he won like 75% of his games, but he was playing with McCaffrey. His numbers were great. In the last 18 games of his career, he's been
9-9,
like 9-9 with a 91 quarterback rating. It's like, who's the real? The fact that he can't play in wet weather, it's like there's a lot of red flags here, man. I mean, yeah, he's small and his arm isn't strong and he's gotten injured. Like, I'd like to see another year before just locking yourself in and be like, we're good at this position. Like, you don't know that.
I think don't. I think that's the main two things for me that you say is like the weather plays a big factor because you don't know when it's going to rain. You don't know when it's going to snow. And if it like when I saw the Rams game was going to rain, I was like, oh, it's great.
Like, that's really great. That's tough.
And
all of a sudden 6 points.
And that shouldn't be a factor. It should be, oh, it's raining. Okay, whatever. We're going to still go out there and win the game. But having that for your quarterback's not good. That's not.
You don't play in a dome. You do play in Northern California, and it just so happened that the must-have game of the season was outdoors in your place under the rain. Like,
imagine if isn't the Super Bowl held in Levi's next year?
Yes.
Imagine if last year's Super Bowl against the Chiefs was
Mhm.
held in Levi's and it was raining. Oh my
Yeah.
God, we would have got smacked.
Yeah.
We would have literally got smacked. How did these guys make it to the Super Bowl? We'd have got
See, to
smacked.
me, a quarterback like him, a guy you've had success with but has clear limitations, man, that's a bridge quarterback to me. So I'm sorry, like you like him, you want him, he's your starter, but you're also kind of looking around in the draft. And if there's a guy you like in round 3, round 2, even round 1, you take him. And I think that's where the Niners are at. Like you could give him a deal, I guess. The Falcons gave Kirk Cousins a 4-year deal last offseason and then drafted a quarterback in the top 10. And people were like, that was the dumbest thing ever. Yeah, maybe the Kirk Cousins thing was the dumbest thing ever. I don't know. So, I think the Niners are there.
So if you if you think Purdy's not that guy, then what do we do? Because you said Sam Darnold. I don't agree with that. I think that
you want to keep Purdy. You want to keep Purdy. But if he wants to hold out, if he wants to make this a whole drama, then I would take a hard line and trade him. But the first choice, keep Purdy, give him nothing, and draft a quarterback. And if Purdy balls out, then yeah, you franchise tag him and then you give him an extension.
Do you know what quarterback though? What quarterback will we draft?
Okay, I don't know about that. You know, I don't be watching college football like that. Everyone says Drew Aller, but I don't know about him from Penn State. I've been watching. He hasn't played that much. He's only got like 700 throws. He seems like he probably need a little bit of development, and that's not exactly what Kyle Shanahan does. So I don't know. But I feel like you gotta try, man. You gotta draft someone. There's whoever drafted Brock Purdy, like who do you like, but not in round 7. Or whenever draft, you got to draft a quarterback at some point. Steve Slowick, who you like?
Who do I like?
No, well, yeah. Who do you like? You're not Steve Slowick, but
no, I'm not. I thought, who do I like? I haven't even thought about that. I've not thought about that. I love Purdy. I want Purdy to be our guy. I just don't. I don't know about signing him to 6.
But it's like if they want to find someone, they could find someone great with like a lot of talent, but they struck out with that Trey Lance. They could try to find the next Purdy, and that's like you're not looking for physical traits. It's just a guy who's played a lot of college football.
I don't think you're finding a Purdy again though. That was so lucky.
But was Purdy or was Purdy a McCaffrey product? You know what I'm saying?
Talking bad about Purdy, man. I'm
so sorry. Purdy. I love Brock, but like, dude, these are questions you got to ask because McCaffrey's not going to be here for his second contract. I mean, this is.
No.
But maybe they'll get the next McCaffrey. Maybe they'll draft a running back in round 1 this year, and they'll be
Genty's the new McCaffrey.
Maybe they'll get him. They might have to, man.
Shanahan would overuse him, and then he'd be cooked. So I don't even know if I want that. I don't know. I don't like talking about this Purdy contract because I hope he just does. I hope Shanahan talks to Purdy and says, you know what, Purdy? If you take a big contract, we're going to be literally the Cowboys 2.0. That's what Shanahan should just say that. We're going to be Cowboys 2.0, buddy. And then
I think Purdy's a lot of people feel that Brock's this like aw shucks type dude, and the Niners are going to give him their typical low ball early offseason offer, and he'll take it and say thank you. I don't know about that. Because you got David Lombardi over here on Twitter daily making the case for Brock.
Better than
Brock's
Josh
worth like $55 million a year. And when the organization offers him 35 and Brock's going to be like, wait, but David Lombardi said I'm worth 55. Hell no. Have you noticed that David Lombardi's picking sides? And this whole, he is very much Team Brock, and he's starting to take little not shots, but like he's starting to criticize Kyle, which I find very interesting.
No, I think David Lombardi's right. I think Brock's better than Josh Allen. I think maybe he's better than Patrick Mahomes. Maybe Brock's better than Patrick Mahomes.
He might be the greatest. He might be better than Joe Montana.
He might be better than Tom Brady.
He might be better than Ronaldo and Messi at soccer.
They're not even
at that football.
He doesn't even play those sports, and he's still better than them.
I just feel like Lombardi is always trying to align himself with whoever's going to be here the longest. And if he's all of a sudden on Team Brock, he thinks that Brock's could potentially. I don't know about that, but anyway, I just don't feel like Kyle's super excited to give Brock all that money.
No, and
tie himself down to. I mean, again, the offense just scored 6 points against a defense that's ranked like 25th. Terrible. And why? Whose fault was it? Was it Kyle? I mean, Kyle. Do you think Kyle thinks it was his fault? I think Kyle thinks I got you. George Kittle open deep.
Yeah,
I got you. Ricky Pearsall open deep. and you threw into double coverage for no reason
to
in
Jawan Jennings.
Yeah, I didn't tell you to do that. So
That was really stupid play. Very stupid.
so you I just can't see Kyle being super excited to tie himself down to Brock for 4 more years.
I think we would be stupid. Like, we see with the Cowboys, they have all their money with Dak. Now they can't do anything. They can't do anything now.
Their team is Dak and
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons.
They're literally a 3-man team.
There's I mean, they just spend so much money on a player.
I think he's been iffy this year.
Yeah, and they spend a lot on him. I don't know.
Exactly. I think that's one thing. If Shanahan or Lynch could say that, I think that's what I would say is if you sign a big deal, we're literally going to be the Cowboys. We're going to be the Cowboys.
Yeah, and it's like the Niners are in this place where they've spent so much money on players that like if someone who's not getting a lot of money that's important, like Greenlaw goes down, there's no depth. All of a sudden, we talk about, oh, well, they had bad injuries this year. Well, they're in this position where the team is like 8 guys making a lot of money. So if at any point 3 or 4 of those guys are hurt, you're screwed. Because the way you built your team is for those 8 guys, at least 6 or 7 of them, to be healthy every week. That's your freaking team. That's your clique. And the Niners haven't been able to put that together, and they're getting older.
But do you think, like, this is another question for you. Do you think the Niners should, like, really invest in an O-line, and maybe that would make Purdy better? Because I saw one clip of Aaron Banks get absolutely wrecked, and Purdy had to throw it at Pearsall really quickly, which was a beautiful throw, but our O-line is really bad. It's really bad. We have literally one bright spot on our O-line, and that's Pooney, and then Trent, but he's aging. He hasn't played. He's injured this season. Like, I think.
You know what else would help Brock? I agree. O-line would help him tremendously. You know what else would help him? A dome.
Yes. You know what? I think they should invest into that.
They should. Hey, but you want to make Brock Purdy your franchise quarterback? Put a dome on Levi's.
Exactly. Because then he has no excuses.
There's no salary cap on domes.
Wait, but
you can afford it.
Wait, Grant, I think in the Cardinals game this year, I don't know I don't know, but didn't like the ball slip out of his hand and it was like still sunny out and like no rain?
That happened in Minnesota. It was actually which has a dome.
No, but I think it happened against Arizona too. I think it happened against Arizona too. I think I remember that.
It'd be interesting to get like the numbers of Brock Purdy in bad weather games. He's probably only played 4 of them.
You know what I was thinking last night? Is there like a hand size surgery? Imagine if Brock Purdy just got like a hand surgery to make his hands bigger.
That feels like something he should definitely look into. But again, I don't know if he can afford it. Maybe Toyota could sponsor it.
Or John Deere.
All right, so everyone's talking about this Devondre Campbell incident. He's not supposed to be on the team anymore. He never really should have been on the team. They gave him $5 million guaranteed. They're probably trying to figure out a way to fire him for cause, so they don't have to pay him any more money. What do you think? What do you make of this whole thing? It's very bizarre and unusual.
Well, I was thinking about this before. We got him for a replacement for Dre Greenlaw. We got him as a replacement. That's what we brought him in for, which, geez, it's a bad replacement, but whatever. He's like not a good replacement. Who were we were gonna get Eric Kendricks before him, correct?
$5 million guaranteed for Campbell,
who
just was bad mouthing his previous employer on the way out of town.
Yeah, and I remember that too. The Packers. He's like, thank God I'm out of there. New fresh start, San Francisco. That was a little bit iffy. And Grant, have you seen the video?
What do you think he's gonna do when you bench him for Greenlaw? Like, look at him.
No, but Grant, did you see do you know that pregame when they do those clap in the pregame clap, it's like Greenlaw and he's like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the clapping. Yeah. Watch that video and look at Devondre Campbell in that video. I remember seeing that video. Devondre Campbell literally looks like he does not want to be there at all. Go look at that video after.
I believe it.
Wow, it's insane. He literally looks like he doesn't want to be there. I remember seeing that video before the game. I'm like, why does he look like that? He literally looks like
Kyle was asked yesterday, like, how come? Like, remember there's that moment early in the game where Warner gets injured for a play, comes off the field, and Demetrius Flanagan replaces him. So I think it was Barrows who asked Kyle, like, how come? Is that when you realized that Campbell wasn't going to play? And Kyle was like, well, nah, all I knew was that Campbell wasn't around the other linebackers, and they just, threw in someone that was near them. It's like, where was he? Is that a bad sign?
Yeah. I mean,
he's eating a hot dog. He was over talking to someone. Like, what happened?
I mean, Devondre, this season, 44 solo tackles. And the craziest thing is he does this. Listen, good players usually do this. Antonio Brown did this, but it's Antonio Brown. He's good. It's like, that's whatever. He messed up in the head, whatever. Antonio Brown's good, whatever. You got a guy that's ranked 61st out of 80 linebackers in the league quitting on your team. I saw that list on PFF. Out of 80 linebackers, he was ranked 61st, 60th, 61st. He sucks. He has nothing special about his game. He can't tackle. And his
I think
pass
that's fair to say. He sucks. Sorry, Devondre, but
he sucks.
suck.
Oh, I mean, Green Bay
but
Packers,
here's the thing, though.
Devondre
Like, don't you feel like some of this? Maybe I'm wrong. Some of the culpability goes on Kyle. It's like you're responsible for this team, and you hire this guy. You sign this guy, and you know you're going to have to take his job away from him midseason for Greenlaw, and you know him. Like, you worked with him in Atlanta one year. You taught. I mean, you know LaFleur. Like, can't you? Like, this guy's not going to handle it well, and it just might happen where in like the most important game of the year, you're screwed because you were depending on this guy and you didn't really know him very well, and he didn't fit into your locker room, and he wasn't all in with your team. Like, yeah, Devondre, get out of town, but it would have been nice if Kyle had figured this out at least a day before then. You know, like, God, this guy isn't one of us.
Grant, did you see that tweet that he made on his Twitter? He was like, I think I'm going to quit football and become a model.
No, I don't even think I follow him on Twitter.
I don't follow him either. I saw that tweet, though. He tweeted, I should quit football and become a model because every time I walk by the mirror, I'm in awe.
Well, that's good. As long as, he's feeling himself. But I just want to say that, like, in the locker room, he was obvious that he was never really part of this team. He would be by his locker and he would kind of talk to people that were next to him. I don't know how reluctant they were to talk to him, but he always would kind of talk a little too loud, and he would say things that were really inappropriate. I'm not going to repeat them. I don't want to be a snitch, but like stuff that could have got him kicked off the team a long time ago. Just
really?
Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, and then like at practice, he'd be the last guy out consistently. Like, the way it works is it starts off with stretching. He's not there for that. And then it's special teams. He doesn't play special teams. So like people who don't play special teams, like Kittle, he'll meet up with his position coach and just catch passes for 10 minutes just to do something. Yeah. Devondre's, I don't know where he is. He's like in the weight room or something. And then when it's time for like actual linebacker drills, he walks out and does his thing. It's like, man, like, can you do the bare minimum? You always talk about people being the first one in, the last one out. Like, he's the last one in, the first one. Anyway, never should have been on this team. Very clear that he was the odd man out and was going to be the odd man out.
I maybe he still thinks he's a Pro Bowl linebacker because in Green Bay he was, but I don't know. He hasn't been that for a very long time, and he sucks. Simple as that. He's not good.
But what I want to get into is like, I don't know. Here's where so it happens, and after the game, someone asked Kyle like, "Well, I forget the exact wording, but it was like, are you losing the team?" And Kyle's like, "What? Like, no, this is just one guy." And of course, Lombardi like made it the whole story, the Campbell incident. And he's like, no, what's important to know is that the Niners have like a really strong locker room and a really strong culture. And this guy tried to mess with it, and he's gone. And the fact that they got rid of him really shows how much they value their culture. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is, man, is this the tip of the iceberg? Like, what is going on in this locker room? Like, all I know is that no one on the Rams quit mid-game. Like, no. I think he's the only guy in the league who's quit mid-game.
But Grant, it's not even just that, Grant. Grant, it's not just that. Debo punching Tabor Pepper in the face?
It's worse than what Devondre did, frankly. It's 100%. Worse than what Devondre did. 100%. Devondre didn't punch anyone.
No. He just
so what's going on with this team? It's just been incident. And another thing, it starts off real stupid with the Brandon Ayuk and the shorts thing. It's like, man, that is really stupid. Shorts.
Over shorts?
But it's like, it's indicative, right? It's symbolic of something that's going, like a lack of respect for the rules and the process. And it's like, boom. Then Debo punches a teammate. It's okay. Tabor overreacted. Boom. Devondre Campbell quits on you mid-game. If I were the head coach and this were all happening underneath me, I'd have to look at the beard and be like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong?
Exactly. No, I agree with you. It's bad. It's not just like little thing. I think Debo's incident was way worse. That was bad. I feel like Debo should have. Well, if I would have knew how he's been playing this whole season, I think he should have been cut. I don't know if I'm crazy for saying that. That's just not something you do as a captain, and then you go and tweet out stuff like that. But I don't know. I think Devondre, he hasn't been good in a couple years. He walks off
So
the field.
Maj, let's go back to the beginning of our stream. I like to lose arguments, come back and try to win them retroactively.
Okay.
You said that the main reason this has been a down season and why you think next year could be better is because of injuries. And what I'm talking about now is culture. It has nothing to do with injuries. Now, Christian McCaffrey coming back will lead by example. He does everything right. So having more players like him around would be great. Yeah. But I do feel like there's a clear culture issue, and maybe getting rid of some players, go having an off season will cleanse all that. But I don't know. Kyle has to address it somehow. I don't know how he will. Getting rid of Debo is a great start. Will he do it? Do you think he will?
No, because he still thinks it's 2019 and Debo's putting up 2019 prime numbers, running through everybody. Like, he's not doing that anymore. Listen, Debo, his main thing with his game was his running ability, and you can't knock him down. You can't knock him down. No. He doesn't even have that anymore. He can't run routes. He has Butterfinger. He sucks.
Dude, Niner fans are like, you encapsulate Niner fans in the way that I love them, in the sense it's like, it's been 8 years with Kyle. You know this guy. Yeah. You know him better than anyone, and it's like you're completely realistic with what he's going to do next year. You know him better than he knows himself, and yet it's like, all right, let's keep him one more year though. It's like,
I get it. No, how do you? Okay, but Grant, I have this question. I have this question for you though. Who do you replace with Kyle Shanahan? You said Ben Johnson.
That's where Niner fans always come back to, because you've been burned. You've been burned in the past, and you went to Tom Sula level.
Who do you get,
Chip Kelly level?
Who do you get, though? Who do you get? Ben Johnson? I love Ben Johnson, but what if he doesn't come to the Niners? Who do you get then?
True.
Mike Vrabel? Like, I don't know.
Really into Mike Vrabel, no. I would always like an offensive coach.
Exactly, but like, I don't know who. I have no clue who. I don't know. That's why it's like, yeah, I agree with you some part, getting rid of him, blah, 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 but it's like, who do we
got to have an interview? I would interview people.
Maybe they should put you. You know what, Grant? You should.
Let me run the search. No one has to know about it, but I'll start talking to these people.
No, Grant. I'm not even saying you got to talk to these people. You should be the new head coach.
Like, why is Liam Cohn having a better job, having a better season than Kyle offensively this year? I'm interested. I'm not saying he's a head coach. Like, he's been an offensive coordinator for 1 year, but he's doing a great job with Baker. All of a sudden, that guy's having a great season. Like, he seems like. Also, Joe Brady, but it's like you're doing a good job with Josh Allen. I don't really know how good you are, but there are other offensive coaches doing a much better job with Kyle with arguably less talent. Those guys are interesting. And then there is Mike Vrabel, who has beaten Andy Reid and has beaten those AFC teams that Kyle Shanahan never has. Never beaten the Bills, never beaten the Ravens, never beaten the Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't know. This Kyle Shanahan talk, I don't know. I don't even want to think about Kyle Shanahan.
All right, let's take some super chats. We gotta cleanse our palate on that one. Spider369 says, "Hey Jed York, we don't care. We moved on to the draft." Yeah, Drew Aller. Dave Barkley says, "Fire Lyle. Others can want him, not us." Spider369 says, "It's crazy to pay Purdy $60 million with arm fatigue." Arm fatigue. Damian Anderson says, "Firing Kyle would be like removing Assad in Syria. Short-term elation followed by what exactly?" Yikes. But that's what Maj is kind of saying. JC says, "Injuries finally made Kyle Shanahan use his best players. Then he changed back to his crappy buddies. Brock Purdy said he is told George Kittle isn't even in progressions. Bad Kyle Shanahan." Huh. All day, every day. Kim says, "Every time Brock has a bad game, his supporters say it's only one game, and then even Mahomes and Allen have bad games."
You can't compare.
Brock's had more than one bad game.
Yeah, 100%.
BS report said, "If CMC isn't great and the Niners suck, how is Kyle great?" He did go to the Super Bowl with Jimmy in 2019. That's the best thing that Kyle ever did.
That is.
He should have won Coach of the Year that year in retrospect. That was impressive.
100%.
Send Purdy to the Giants, says Spider369. Why? Are you sure they want him?
A lot of money.
Won't they just draft a quarterback? Brandon Monroe says trade Debo and Brock for Devontae and A-Rod.
That might be the worst trade I've ever seen. I mean, I would like Devontae.
God, A-Rod needs to stop.
Yeah, he needs to. Yeah,
The BS report says, "What's crazy is Devondre knew he was going to do that before the game, and nobody on the coaching staff caught it. It was premeditated. He hinted to it on Twitter. A good head coach would have caught it."
That's what I'm saying. That one video, Grant, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. You literally, I saw it right away. all those guys are getting hyped, and then there's just him like, oh, whatever. I saw that.
Very interesting.
Insane.
Yeah, it's true. What he did was premeditated. It wasn't like, what? You're benching me? Well, I'm not even suiting up today. He's like, no, I'll suit up. Sure. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And if you need me, that's kind of interesting. It's kind of diabolical. And again, as a head coach, we love your scheme, buddy, although it didn't work this year, but you really need to handle this.
Yeah.
Joseph for real says Debo and Bosa are polar opposites in the sense of how they speak. I'm not convinced they're far off in effort. 2 stars losing their shine. It's definitely a culture thing. Get younger, impactful spirits in.
Well, yeah, I agree with Debo. Anything about Debo, I agree with. He's been my least favorite player this season, and I love Debo. He's been my least favorite player this season.
My thing with football is that it's essentially a non-glamorous sport. There's a lot of pain and hard work that's involved. All the practice, it's not glamorous. No one watches you. And then blocking, run defense. It's like shoveling coal. It's so hard. It's so exhausting, and it's not sexy. Exactly. And you need so many players on your team who are gunning for the contract, because that's where you get these insane efforts from. Like Puka Nacua. What you don't need is hella players on their second and third contract who have hella guaranteed money and have like almost no choice but to make business decisions, because again, football is brutal. And once you can make money to not play football, it's hard to come back from that.
Yeah, I do agree with you about this whole culture. Like, we have to change it, because this team is just like, even if we were having a bad year, all the stuff that Campbell incident, Debo tweeting, it's just this team is like kind of losing itself. And I do think Shanahan has to, if he is a great head coach, like, well, some people think he is, then he's gotta like lock these guys in. Even like, they had that meeting, and then what happened? Like, they just like, that meeting to, hey guys, these next games are like the playoffs, and then this Devondre Campbell incident happens. Like, how, like, you guys should have, I don't know. I just think this team definitely needs a culture change.
One of my favorite things about the culture this year is every time they lose a game, they talk about how pissed they were.
Yeah, but listen, they're pissed. Okay. They don't do anything about it.
But you're gonna lose again. So how pissed are you?
Exactly.
It's sleeper time. All right, let's make some sleeper picks. We got. Who are you interested? What game are you interested in this weekend? There's no Niners this weekend.
What's the Sunday night football game?
Sunday night is.
I don't know if it was a good game.
Green Bay, Seattle.
That one, yeah, Green Bay, Seattle.
Okay. Zach Charbonnet, so proud of that guy. UCLA. Jordan Love. Do we go straight to the interceptions? Oh, they don't have those. Yes, they do. He hasn't thrown one in 3 games.
I don't think he's going to get one.
Watch out for Jordan Love. Should we just do interceptions, or what do you think? Passing yards?
Oh,
okay. They've been taking a little off his plate.
He's gonna cook. I hope they beat. Oh, I hate.
You think so? Again, Seattle's got a good defense.
Oh, they're killing them.
I don't know about this one, man. Jordan Love.
I think I say they're gonna kill them just because I don't like their team. So that's.
This is a big game for the. I mean, there's not mathematically eliminated yet. Although, are they eliminated from winning the division? Is there one chance being a wild card?
Grant, the season's over. But like,
it's over.
There's some people that are like, wait, but there's a 1% chance, and if this team loses, and it's like, bro, it's over. I don't know why.
I'm doing no interceptions for Jordan Love. I believe in him. What about Gino though? Will Gino throw a pick?
He's throwing 2. I got a feeling he's throwing 2.
Okay.
Maybe even
let's
3.
See. I mean, there's a lot. Gino and Jordan Love, they both have really good arms. They both throw picks. Metcalf, Charbonnet. Hell yeah.
Charbonnet's so good.
Will he score a touchdown?
Yes.
Rushing yards? Yeah. He's hella good. You know, he was in Michigan, and he transferred to UCLA because he couldn't play because Blake Corum was their guy. I think he's better than Blake Corum. I don't understand that one.
Well, yeah. Blake Corum was Blake Corum's like the backup running back for Carn Williams, right?
Yeah. He's little.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know. Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is so freaking good.
Yeah. He might be the second best running back.
The Niners should have that guy. He had 3 touchdowns against Detroit. Damn, look at how many touchdowns he has in the last. Like, he's definitely scoring a touchdown, right?
100%.
100%. Yes, anytime touchdown, give me that. Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's hella good too. Receiving yards, 64.5. I would say yeah.
Yeah.
I would say yeah. One more.
Let's
Let's get the most irrelevant dude on here. Let's see. Who's definitely not catching a touchdown pass? Where's my guy? Wicks.
Oh, yeah, he's not doing anything.
Oh, they don't even put the touchdowns on there. Hold on. Sorry, I'm a sleeper connoisseur. Dobbs could score a touchdown though. Oh, Fant. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, no, you're not scoring a touchdown.
Watch him score like 2 touchdowns now. That'd be funny.
No, he absolutely won't. No. Noah Fant. No, absolutely not. Those are my picks. Flexing it because I'm so confident. Submitting it. Download the app. Use promo code Cohn and get entered to win a signed George Kittle jersey. Baby, it's George Kittle. It's signed. Okay. Moving forward. Is Ricky Pearsall a bust? Can the 49ers feel like he can give them something next year? Because he's given them nothing this year.
Yeah, last 5 games, 21 yards totals. That's
I
amazing.
mean, everyone's dunking on Debo. What about Mr. Cardio over here, Ricky Pearsall himself? He's in great shape.
Oh, 100%. His cardio's off
the charts.
Amazing. He could probably run a marathon, to be honest, right now.
I think he could.
Oh, 100%. But I think people gotta lay off of him. He got shot, right? But it's like, I know that happened a while ago, but he still got shot. Like, that's not a normal thing that just happens, a player getting shot. So I think maybe he's still getting used to things. Is that a bad thing? I think
it's fair. I think also not only did he get shot, but he missed all but like 4 or 5 days of training camp. And when he was in training camp, he wasn't like full go. No. So I think
that shoulder.
And with also what they talk about with Kyle's offense with wide receivers, it's so hard because you have to learn all the verbiage and you have to. It's possible that he missed his most important learning stage. Yep. He fell behind. He got shot. It was kind of impossible for him to catch up, and that maybe next year he'll do better. But he better because Ladd McConkey was there, and I think most people had Ladd McConkey ranked ahead of Pearsall. Yeah. And them taking Pearsall was kind of a controversial pick and kind of a Kyle Shanahan special. Like, yeah, I know better. So you got to be right, dude, because you wanted a wide receiver. There were a bunch available, and you shocked people taking this kid. He was not.
No,
even the Niners didn't give him a first-round grade.
I made a reaction video when we drafted him. If I literally was like, why? I don't even know why we drafted a wide receiver. But one thing I think about Pearsall for these next 3 games, you know how we used the hell out of Debo against the Rams?
Yeah,
I think why not do that with Pearsall? Why not do that with Ricky Pearsall? We have literally nothing to lose. So why not just give Pearsall the ball a bunch?
The last time Ricky Pearsall had a jet sweep, I think he gained 30 yards.
And that was against the Bucs.
I don't understand Kyle Shanahan. He'll call something that works and everyone will marvel at it. And then he's like, okay, well, I'm not calling that again.
Exactly.
Maybe in 3 years.
Exactly. And I think Pearsall, if you gave him the ball the amount that we've given Debo the ball, I think Pearsall's he'd be better than Debo. I don't know if that's a crazy thing to say.
Too. Also, Cowing. What's funny about the Niners is their offense has no speed.
We don't use Cowing.
They're calling double moves for Jawan Jennings. Like, yo,
you're sending Jawan Jennings. You said this before, and I was thinking about it. Do you think Jawan Jennings would be a top 10 wide receiver if he had speed? I think so.
Yeah, if he had speed, but he doesn't.
He doesn't, right? So why on even that play that Purdy threw it to the end zone, bad throw, whatever. That should have been, instead of Jawan Jennings, that should have been Cowing.
Yeah.
That should have been Cowing. I don't know why that was Jawan Jennings.
Because they've called that play for Cowing once in the regular season, once in the preseason, and it went for big gains both times because he's
Purdy underthrew the one. Purdy underthrew the one. Yeah, Purdy underthrew the one against the Chiefs.
It's Purdy.
Touchdown, but I don't know. I don't know why we're not using both these guys. I think for the last 3 games here, let's use Pearsall and let's use Cowing. We have nothing to lose. We have nothing. I thought Cowing was.
Well, here's why they won't. Because we told Kyle to do it. And if he were to do it in the last 3 games, and heaven forbid it worked, then it would just bring more attention on him for not doing it earlier. I'm sorry. I know Kyle. You and I know Kyle Shanahan. You know I'm right. You think all of a sudden he's going to throw Jacob Cowing out there against Miami, and Cowing's going to kill it, and Kyle's going to be like, "Oh darn! I should have listened to Maj and Grant weeks ago." He'll never let that happen.
No.
So Jacob, sorry, the reason you're not playing is because we wanted to see you play. It's our fault.
Grant, I think Jacob Cowan could go onto the field, have a 80-yard reception, and then Shannon be like, you know what? Nah, I don't want to use him anymore. And then not use him the rest of the game. That's what kind of happened in the Chiefs game. That should have been oh crap, this guy's actually like, he's got speed, he's got hands, he's actually really good. We used him in that final little bit of the Chiefs game. We had that long reception, beautiful. And then that next game, we didn't use him at all. We don't even we barely use him as a punt returner now. We use Debo as a punt returner. Which Debo?
Let me ask you a question, man.
Debo's great.
Who do you think has more targets this season? It's a quiz.
Okay.
Jacob Cowing or Ronnie Bell?
I'm gonna say Ronnie Bell, and if it's Ronnie Bell, that's bad.
It's correct. Ronnie Bell has 6. Jacob Cowing has 4. Who do you think has more targets this season? Jacob Cowing or Chris Conley?
There's no way. Chris Conley?
Chris Conley has 7 targets this season, 1 catch, 4 yards. Jacob Cowing has 4 targets this season, 2 catches, 50 yards. I just don't understand that. The guy, you give him no opportunities, and one of the limited ones he gets, he has a big play, and you're like, Chris Conley, you're up.
Yep. I don't understand because what's Cowing? He's fast. He's got good hands.
I can explain it. I can explain it because Kyle Shanahan isn't looking for the best players. He's looking for the guys who know his system the best. So with Conley, I mean, with Cowing, he's a rookie, and maybe there's some times in practice where Kyle will call a play and Cowing's confused because the play is a freaking paragraph. Yeah. And so he'd rather go with Chris Conley, who's very smart, has been here a few years and understands the language.
But he sucks.
And that's, to me, another limitation of Kyle Shanahan. Like, you always have to have a system that can get the best players on the field. And if one of your best players is a rookie who's having some issues with the verbiage, you got to help him, man. You got to get him on the field. That's your number one job.
Not even just wide receivers, though. This happened with Brandon Allen and Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs is clearly the better quarterback, but why do we play Brandon Allen? Because he knows the system better.
He's been here a year longer. No question about it. And again, like, that's no reason.
But why does that matter? Okay, so listen.
It shouldn't matter.
Shanahan's the type of guy, he could have Tom Brady and, I don't know, Mac Jones. But if Mac Jones is in our system longer, he's going with Mac Jones.
Absolutely. And
that doesn't make sense. That literally makes no sense whatsoever. Shanahan, yeah, that's another. Geez, Grant, you're changing my mind a little bit on Shanahan. Everything you're saying is just kind of like, I don't know.
It's like, it's year 8. We know him.
Yeah.
And it's like there's no more surprises left. We've been waiting for him to change and grow forever. Yeah. He won't. He doubles down on everything. And this is the critical offseason for him. This is it. He's as close to being on the hot seat as he's ever been, and he needs to do something different next year. I think most people will agree if he just tries to run it back and hope for better luck, he's going to be out of luck.
Oh, 100%.
So 1,000%. It's going to be really interesting, Kyle. You got it. You're going to have one more year, it seems like. What are you going to do to keep yourself employed? Because you got to do something other than just show up.
Yeah.
Rude Boy says, I'm not struggling, said the blind man. Rafael Flores says, why were Crabtree's numbers down in 2014? Because he was coming off of Achilles.
Yep.
Tear. Spider369 says, funniest thing was watching Purdy try to throw a Hail Mary. The Niners are still a quarterback away from a ring.
That was really funny. That was really, I saw some tweets, like, I don't know who it was. Maybe it was David Lombardi. No, I don't know, but it was someone like, no, it was, I forget who it was. Chase Senior, I think it was. He was like, oh, like on the last play, the Niners, of course, Purdy gets sacked. And then I saw a comment like, well, if he didn't get sacked, he's not throwing that thing in the end zone.
It's true. Now, I don't think Jalen Hurts can throw a Hail Mary either. Haven't we seen him like?
Yeah, Super Bowl, that was the greatest Hail Mary I've ever seen in my life.
That was bad. Eric Sean Hayes says Kyle Shanahan can come back, but there has to be change in the players, old and new, culture, offensive-minded assistant head coach to help with play calling and sealing games. I agree with that.
I agree.
There's got to be something different.
Yeah. I mean, after losing the Super Bowl last year, we should have changed it up. Like, we lost to the same team again.
Okay, last topic. We're about 50 minutes in.
Okay.
Is the Super Bowl window closed? The Niners have been running it back. They've been keeping this team together. They feel they got something special. They've had a down season. It seems like they're giving themselves every excuse. Bad luck, injuries. It's okay. Don't overreact. Everything's fine. Bring it back. Is that is there one more season left in this group?
No, it's not. If we pay Purdy, I think if we pay Purdy even 40 million, I think we're done. Like it doesn't have to be. I've seen some people say, "Oh yeah, it has to be." If we pay Purdy 60 million, it's over. I think if we pay him I don't want to say if we pay him 40, it's over. I think if we pay him 40, we maybe have a chance. But if we pay him 60, it's over. It's over. We're like it's closed. I think it's closed right now though. But I just think this Purdy contract's really gonna solidify that. If we pay him 60, it's closed. 100%.
You know, it's funny, like Niner fans are always like, well, you can't get rid of Kyle because if you got rid of Kyle, there'd be so many teams that would want him in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, let's use that same logic with Brock. If they didn't pay Brock, would there be so many teams that would want to pay Brock? Or, you know, or look at it this way.
I know.
Let's imagine the day the Niners do extend Brock and it's a 4-year deal, it's a 5-year deal, and he's making $50, $55, $60 million a year. The news comes out, Niner fans are excited. What are fans from every other fan base going to say that day?
I can already see the comments right now. Holy crap, Niners fraud franchise. You guys are so stupid.
LOL. Oh, well, last time we got to worry about them. They just sunk their team. I mean, everyone's rooting for the Niners to do this. I'm sure the Seahawks are dying for the Niners to extend Brock Purdy.
100%. Well, they have
every team wants the Niners to do this.
Whatever. Yeah.
Which is probably a bad sign.
That's why I don't like how we're there. I feel like there's news updates every day. Like you said, there's Purdy's still going to sign a contract. I honestly think I love Purdy. I'll say it again. We got to let him play one more year out. We have to.
Sure.
Because right now he's not looking like the same quarterback that he was. I think Purdy last year, I thought he was great. I loved Purdy last year. And I'm a Purdy guy. Like if anyone's talking crap about Purdy, I'm like, no, he's a great quarterback. Blah, blah. This year, if someone's talking crap to me about Purdy, I can't say anything. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I can't say anything.
Look, Purdy's played well. It hasn't been enough to win. Kittle's played great. Hasn't been enough. Jordan Mason was playing really well. Wasn't enough. But I mean, on and on and on. There's a lot of players putting it on the line this year, doing really well. It hasn't been enough. I think it's fair to wonder if this Super Bowl window was the Christian McCaffrey window. I mean, they were good in 2019. They were really good. They struggled in 2020. They struggled in 2021. They ended up going to the NFC Championship game that year, but like they were 10-7 in 2021. They weren't a great team. They went on a run. Then they got McCaffrey and became a great team that rarely lost and would win by a lot very much. Now I wonder, like, unless that version of McCaffrey's coming back, I don't think this team's going to be we used to call this team a juggernaut. Not a freaking juggernaut anymore. I think he was a juggernaut. And I wonder if maybe if they get Ashton Genty, all of a sudden they have a great running back again, they could do it. Because it seems like their runs have coincided with crazy runs of running backs. Mostert, Debo, McCaffrey.
I think what you're trying to say right now is the 49ers are CMC made.
I think maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like looking back, it explains a lot.
Because CMC's the guy that if no one's open, you got CMC because he's right there.
He scored all their touchdowns.
Exactly.
In the red zone, all of a sudden they just handed off to him, and in 3 plays they'd be in there. Now it's like if they score in the red zone, it's usually a pass. It's usually very difficult. Kittle has to like catch it. Let's moss someone. It's like it used to be so easy.
It was. I do think, like, yes, someone in your chat said CMC had 21 touchdowns last year.
I mean, that's like they lost 21 touchdowns this year, and it shows.
Like, all you had to do with CMC is go down the field, hand it off to him. He runs it
touchdown. I mean, what a streak of like 17 games?
Yeah, it was a cheat code. He was literally
he broke the franchise record. He almost set the NFL record.
Yeah, NFL record was 18, right?
Code. Yeah,
NFL record was 8. Yeah, but he was a cheat code. He literally all you had to do is drive down the field right when you got into the red zone. It's like automatic. I remember last.
And if it wasn't him, it was Debo.
Exactly. Oh, but I don't think Debo's doing that anymore. But
right.
I do agree. I think this team might have been CMC made a little bit, which I'm saying a little bit, but I'm just saying a little bit because I'm a fan of the team and I don't want to, bring them down. But I do agree with you there.
Okay, take some super chats and get out of here. Got you. BS Report says it's scary to give Kyle one more year to extend old hurt players. Give Brock the bag, draft questionable player and not play them and run good players into the ground so they are never the same again. Scared to give Kyle one more year to extend old hurt players. Yeah, man. I mean, instead of like getting rid of Debo, he could like extend. I don't know who the next old hurt player is, but yeah, I don't know. Kyle Shanahan could leave this team in a mess. Dave Barclay says, to everyone I hurt this year, you deserved it. Stop playing with me. Lyle is trash. Anyone really think we're winning a ring anytime soon? I would name guys that need to go, but faster to say who stays. Lyle, will RG3, Ashton Genty be out in 3 years?
That's one thing I'd be scared about is if we got a guy like Ashton Genty, I think we would. Yeah, he would. He'd be cooked. He would be cooked.
It's just so demoralizing that we know Kyle this well. It's like, oh yeah, that wouldn't work. Oh no, that wouldn't work. It's Kyle. It's like, and that's the thing. If Brock isn't the guy and they have to find another quarterback, do you have confidence in Kyle to do that? No. So
I don't have any.
Hey, we're back where we started. Sticking with Kyle, sticking with Brock. Fingers crossed. Devondre Campbell's gone, man. The problem is gone. Everything's fine.
I think we bring him back. We bring Devondre Campbell back.
Why not?
Exactly.
Let's let him apologize. I think that's what they need. They need to keep Devondre Campbell.
Yeah. I think Devondre Campbell.
Dave Barkley says, happy B-Day, worst play caller, not a head coach. Whose B-Day is it?
I don't know. Is it your birthday?
It's not mine. Mine's
not mine either. Not mine either.
I'll be 37. Maj, where are you calling? Where are you located?
You probably don't even know. Edmonton, Canada. Do you know where that
I
is?
knew I was gonna say Canada, man.
You're gonna say Canada?
I thought I heard a little Canada accent in there.
Do I have an accent?
You do a little bit.
Really?
A tiny little bit.
I
was gonna guess
like
Canada.
You. I think I sound like you.
You do most of the time, but I feel like Canadians can't hide it. What do we do with Huff, Ward, Greenlaw?
Hufanga, we re-sign because he's come back.
I think you offered 1-year deals to all of them.
Not. But Ward's not going to want that though. I don't think Ward's going to want that. I think he's going to want.
I know, and I love Ward. And if he can get a multi-year deal somewhere else, that's great. I don't think they can afford him and Lenore and Greenlaw. And like I think with Greenlaw, it's a 1-year deal. Like you've been hurt. We don't have that much cap space. We're gonna.
I think you got to re-sign Greenlaw. You got to re-sign Greenlaw because you've seen what this team looks like without him, and it's very different. Greenlaw, he comes back. He had 10 tackles in the first half.
Agree, and I think to me, if you don't extend Purdy, you could have all three. Something to think about. These are the consequences of spending hella money on a quarterback. Like Ward's probably gone. Maybe Hufanga too. Maybe Greenlaw too. Like if you keep Purdy,
don't say Greenlaw. We need Greenlaw, man. If we don't have Greenlaw, we're so cooked. We are
dude,
so
the way
cooked.
he's playing right now. If he can keep this up the rest of the season, some team might offer him a multi-year deal.
He just came back from an injury and he's playing like he hasn't left.
He looked like the best player on the field,
that's really sad if you think about it.
Yeah. So I don't know if the Niners gonna be able to. They got Purdy though. All right, guys. Maj, great stuff, dude. You killed it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Enjoy your Saturday. Don't get blown away in the tornado in the Bay right now.